Welcome back, everyone. I'm your host, Blaine Edwards, and today we are joined by Mohammed, co-founder and CTO of Ridotto, as well as Fayrouz, co-founder and CMO of Ridotto, the very first cross-chain gambling and lottery protocol built on Cardano. So cheers, guys, for coming on the show.
Thank you, Blaine,
Thank you.
for hosting us today. I may start maybe by introducing myself. So as you said, I'm the CTO of the solution, and I have a background of blockchain and cloud architect. So I was working mainly in banking environment, implementing some open source solution that have the same spirit as the blockchain one. And at Ridotto, I'm more managing the technical aspect of the solution.
Mm-hmm. And Fayrouz, how about you? A little bit of an introduction.
And from my side, I'm Fayrouz, and I'm the CMO of Ridotto and the other co-founder. I'm playing the role of the CMO in Ridotto, so I'm handling all the aspects of marketing, PR, communication, and also handling some of the most strategic partnerships for the product. I have a marketing background, so I've been working with in several industries, the cosmetic, the luxury, the agroalimentary, and so on. So I've been working with L'Oréal luxury division, Nestlé, Mondelez International. I've also been in advertising agency in Paris. I was handling all the portfolio of brands like Guerlain, Dior, Louis Vuitton, Lancôme, and all the most famous luxury brands in Paris.
Mm-hmm. All right, so you've got a bit of experience then working with some big players in that space.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. To begin, we'll bring it back to Ridotto. Ridotto. What is Ridotto?
Yeah. So Ridotto is the first is the Cardano project. It's the first gambling and lottery protocol in Cardano. We are the first project listed by IOHK under the gaming and entertainment section. So actually. Ridotto is reinventing the way we know gambling. Mm-hmm. We have three main pillars. We are community driven and community centric. We want the community to be an integral part of each of the features of Ridotto. So yeah, we have three main pillars: the play, build, and bankroll. Mm-hmm. And maybe you want me to explain this later, or
yeah, maybe we can kind of dive into the details around each of those. I think it'll be cool to kind of get a breakdown on all of those pillars. But that's kind of the summary of what Ridotto is. It's a gambling and lottery protocol, and I did see on IOHK that your project has been listed kind of like officially on their list, which is pretty cool, and people can check that out on their website.
Yeah, they have retweeted this in their official Twitter account, and actually we were the first project in the gambling and entertainment section of IOHK, and we were
pretty proud about that. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Taking a step back and looking at the legacy, the old school world of gambling, what are some of the issues that exist within that world of gambling in the traditional world? What are some of those problems and issues that exist there? And how are you seeking to solve some of them through the Ridotto protocol?
Yeah, so as you know, the casino industry is a gloomy, dark industry with a lot of stigmas. Yeah. And actually, what we are solving, we come up with an innovation in the gambling industry, which has known zero innovation from its start, apart from the online gambling, which is way worse. And actually, we solve two major things: the lack of transparency and the centralization. Actually, we want to free the gambling industry from the lack of transparency and from centralization. So we came up with Ridotto, which is a protocol that is community driven. So we give the opportunity to our community to be part of each step of Ridotto. Everything is transparent since we are run on the blockchain, and everything is run via smart contracts, so very transparent for everybody. The games are not manipulated, and in the traditional world, there are some few families that have licenses over the casino industry, and this is what we are changing. Our community can be either players, they can also build on the top of protocol their own games or their own casino, and they can be the house by earning the same profits of the casino, and we will explain this maybe later. So those are the things that we are solving here.
Okay, so interesting. So the transparency is one big issue, and the fact that it's kind of extremely centralized and it's a bit of a monopoly within the traditional gambling world. And those obviously things that blockchain can help remedy, the whole decentralization, community governance type stuff. And then also the transparency, because it's on this blockchain and no one can kind of go through and kind of tamper with that information.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So the one thing you mentioned about the house and the community can kind of be the house, or the users can be the house, that kind of flips the whole model on its head a bit. Can you maybe expand on that idea of the users being the house and how they can get involved in that sort of way?
I can maybe give some detail regarding this. So we will implement a model that looks like the DeFi one, which means we will give the user the possibility to become the house. So if you know the famous quote, the casino always wins. So this is true. What we do is we are not changing the rule. We are just opening the casino to the community so they can build and inject liquidity, which means what casino usually do, and be part of it and earn and share those rewards.
Wow. Okay. So that's a game changer in itself, that part, because like you were saying before, the house is normally kind of centralized to a certain couple of families across like the industry and like a small group of people essentially reaping the benefits of whatever profit is generated from that casino or whatever. But the idea is that the community, because you're having this very community driven focus, people in the space probably know about staking and providing liquidity. So people can kind of do that with Ridotto, and then any profits generated through people interacting with this ecosystem gets fed back to the people, the liquidity providers. Is that right? Is that how it works?
Yes, this is true. This is just one of the way of becoming the house, by injecting liquidity. So as Fayrouz said, we can also build things from scratch, which means you can build your own casino over the blockchain without having deep knowledge about the mechanism behind it. So we are simplifying this layer too, and giving to developer or also businesses the possibility to easily interact and build on the top of the blockchain.
Mm-hmm. Before I dive into the people building on it, so we're talking about the house and the users being the house. What is the basic definition of the house? What is kind of that in the gambling sense? What does the house mean?
The house is the casino, the casino owners.
The owners.
Yeah.
Okay.
And actually, in the long run, even when you go into a casino, if you stay 1 hour, you may win a couple of times. But if you stay like 6 hours, the casino always wins on the plays you have done. Mm-hmm. So that's why we say the casino always wins. And if it's not true, this industry wouldn't exist. Yeah.
Yeah.
And actually, we stay with this huge quote, but we reinvent the logic behind it. So in Ridotto, yes, the house always wins, but the house is the community. So in Ridotto, the community always wins. and they just need to provide liquidity to our DeFi ecosystem, and they get what the casino usually gets as profits.
So the house are the owners of the gambling protocol, and in the way that you're doing it, the house are the users. So the users own the protocol. Exactly. It's all community focused. Okay, I like it. I think that's a better model.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people will agree with that as well. So we've been talking about how people can provide liquidity and earn through Ridotto, and then you were starting to touch on the people building on Ridotto. Can you expand on that? So the people what can they build on Ridotto, and how do they go about doing that?
Okay, so regarding this feature, we are positioning ourselves like a cloud provider, which means we will propose high-level function of building things without getting a deep knowledge regarding a given blockchain. So maybe the way that I can explain it better is to give you a real example. So imagine that you are willing to build a poker game over the blockchain. So how we will do with this? You will need to identify which blockchain you will to use, hire the people and the skilled one, define which oracle you will use, etc. So there is several things to manage. So what we are doing is we are wrapping all those things, simplifying all the logic behind the implementation of random algorithm, and we are giving simple SDK and library that can be used with well-known languages like Python, Java, etc. So what you need is just to read our guide how to be able to build over the protocol and start interact with it.
Okay, so that's the builders. And the SDK, does that mean again? Something to develop a kit?
Yes, I'm getting always this question, so it is right. It's software development kit.
Software development kit. Okay, and so speaking of the games, what sorts of games can people expect to build on this from a builder point of view? Like, what are some of the games that people can build? And then also from a player's perspective, what are some games that they can expect to play, like when this first gets launched?
Maybe there is something that I can precise before going deep diving into the game itself. So it is true, this is a gambling and lottery protocol, but we can use it for other use cases that need randomness. So imagine if you need to set up kind of election that you will choose from a given country, select the winner or something like this. You can still build this over our protocol and ensure that we are in front of decentralized and real randomness. So this is other use case for the protocol itself. Okay,
interesting. So anything that requires some sort of random generation, like any application that requires that as a key function, that's something that you can specialize in providing a platform to allow that to happen. So you mentioned maybe some sort of voting. What are some potential use cases then? If it's probably obviously gambling type games require some sort of randomness to it, and also the voting. What are some potential use cases in the future where that required randomization generation?
we have art. We can use some piece of art, which means when we would like to generate rare NFT, and for this we need the randomness aspect. As I said, election also for governments, and the major use case is the gambling one, but this is not the unique one.
Okay, and so going back to some games, like how many games are currently, do you anticipate will be ready when this thing launches? So people that are maybe excited to hop on the protocol and play some games, what games can they maybe expect, or is this all under wraps?
Yeah.
I will let you, Fayrouz, explain that.
Okay. So actually, we wanted to give the community the same user experience they have in the casino, traditional casino. But actually, with the tweak of the major rule is no game is manipulated. Everything's transparent. So we give them the games they love and they want to play in a casino, like blackjack, poker, slots, lottery, etc. So we have all those games that will be in our platform, but we also have some other games that we have developed in-house. And those games are very exclusive to Ridotto. They are developed by the team, and they are meant to democratize the knowledge about the cryptocurrency. So they are crypto games, and we took some of the major notions of crypto, and we simplified them to the maximum, so that everyone can play them in a very intuitive, fun, and distracting way. So those are the two types of games we have.
Yeah.
Maybe what we can add is like we will provide also some engaging game, which mean the community, for one of them, the community will define the jackpot. We have a game called Mystery Box, and the community will vote of the given reward, which mean it will be a vote, a periodic one that we will handle each week, and the community will define what token will give as a jackpot, as example. So this is the kind of game. And the one that simplify cryptocurrency concept, we can have that some game that depend on the price feed or on a given cryptocurrencies. So this is what we are willing to integrate in addition to the traditional casino games.
Sorry, Blaine, but we have also a very fun game, which is the Nolos game that Mohammed can explain. We always forget about this one, and this one is the coolest, actually.
Yes, the Nolos lottery. The main idea behind this is to never lose your initial stake. So all the people that will participate into a given party, their stake will be pushed into an internal pool, and those rewards will be the jackpot for the unique winner. So you won't lose your initial stake.
Interesting.
So this
sounds appealing.
I can explain the purpose behind this game. So in fact, while we were developing the several pool of Ridotto, the pool are the mechanism that give you the possibility of becoming the house, so where you will provide liquidity. We identified a big issue, which is for some pool with lower EPR, we won't be able to fill them. And if we didn't fill a given pool, we won't be able to run the game behind this pool. And the solution is to provide this no-loss game, and all the liquidity pushed into that game will be served to give liquidity to that pool to be able to run all the game.
Kind of like a reserve.
Yes.
Yeah.
I see.
So we created the no-loss game, which is a win-win game for everybody.
Yeah. And so that obviously is fun from a user point of view, but it also provides a role within the ecosystem as being some sort of reserve, this liquidity reserve for these other games which may not necessarily have the right amount of liquidity to pay out the profits for the winners of that game.
Yeah.
All right. That makes sense. Interesting. One thing I'd like to talk about is, so as mentioned earlier, this is going to be a cross-chain kind of platform. Are there many other gambling protocols that exist out there in the crypto universe? And if so, what is your strategy to kind of differentiate yourself from the rest of them?
So we are not proposing ourselves as being a casino on blockchain. So we have this unique approach of being the house and build over a given blockchain. So this is how we see ourselves. And for the casino part, where we have several existing competitors. So our approach is to expose casino over blockchain by having the entire backend run over the blockchain and not only accept cryptocurrencies. So this is how we see things. Regarding the cross-chain part, so we choose Cardano due to two major reasons. So the first one is the strategic move. So being the first into a given field will give us this huge push. And the second one is more for a technical perspective, which means the transaction fees and all the technical aspects of Cardano ecosystem will help us to implement this solution without several issues.
So big one, big differentiating factor is the blockchain which you're building on as well, the Cardano. From a tech point of view, but also from the fact that on this one you'll be the first, and there's like some value around that as well. Since this is a very community-driven protocol, can you talk about maybe the governance? Is there some sort of community governance strategy that you're wanting to integrate into this? So obviously people can, the involvement and how people use the platform is very community focused, where the community can become the house, etc. But is there a strategy to integrate community governance into this moving forward?
Yes, for sure. This is one of our major pillar is to open the protocol to the community itself. So all the heredity holder and the early adopter will have their role to define the roadmap of the solution itself, to define what will be the next feature that will integrate. So we will have an open vote dashboard where people can define and decide the target and the way of the project itself.
Okay, cool. And I'm sure there's a few people that are probably interested in seeking out your token. Could you talk about the tokenomics of Ridotto, kind of what the distribution of the tokens looks like, and then also moving into how people themselves can acquire the token at the moment?
So for the distribution itself, we designed a tokenomic that fits into a healthy growth for the project for long term. So we have a huge part that will be dedicated to the ecosystem itself to be able to be used as a fuel to run the protocol. We have also some specific allocation to be used as accelerator. What does it mean? As we are build protocol, we have to engage people to build over our platform. So these type of allocation will be used to give the developer the possibility to build over the protocol by paying fees or giving them technical help. So this is the real usage of these allocation. And in addition to that, we also managed to have what we call Fayrouz, if you can remind me, with this integration with GYS.
Yeah, we have some charity.
Grow your stake.
Yes.
Yeah, grow your stake.
He's a good man, Josh.
Yes.
Just shout out to Josh.
Yeah. Hi, Josh, by the way. Yeah, so we were one of the first projects that adheres to the cause of GYS also. Because we actually believe strongly that blockchain is a great technology, but blockchain is also great values such as transparency, democratization of wealth, decentralization, and we want to apply those great values in the human field. And that's why we decided to stack our ADA with Josh and to give 100% of the rewards to drop for drop, an NGO that builds wells in Africa and soon in other villages all over the world. And actually, this is a cause that speaks to us, both Mohammed and I, because we are both from Africa. And, even in Morocco, for example, there are some villages that don't have any water, and they need to do 40 kilometers a day just to get clean, fresh water. And we think that those kind of people don't have the mind free to think about financial independence or education or anything else. They are just stuck with the basic needs.
Surviving.
Yeah. And maybe you may ask me, what is the relation between this GIS and the allocation of the project itself? So all the allocation, the unused one, ADA based and liquidity, we are targeting to stack it for charity reason. So this is our main purpose.
The reserve.
Yeah. So maybe expand on that. So that what are you dedicating to charity? Which part?
The project's liquidity, which means the unused ADA reserve. We are willing to stake it for charity reason.
I see. I see. Okay. Yeah. Nice. I love how I'm not too big into the gambling in the traditional world, but I wouldn't normally associate that with kind of building wells in Africa or other parts of the world that don't have access to clean water. I wouldn't associate gambling with charity necessarily. Definitely wouldn't associate it with transparency and decentralization. But yeah, these are values that you're bringing into the game, which is pretty cool. Even the blockchain specific stuff such as decentralization and transparency, but then also these other things that you probably didn't need to do, but they're obviously things that you care about, and you can, using this technology, help out with these other causes as well. And it's cool that you're trying to do that, because it's like it doesn't seem like they match, but there's no reason why they shouldn't. And you're kind of just being like, let's bring them together.
Yeah, it's not like we're not like the traditional casino industry. So let's change the game and do things differently altogether.
Yeah.
If I can say so, from the beginning of the project, me and Fayrouz were talking about how to have real engagement and real impact into the real world. And Fayrouz's proposition was to give people awareness about the existence of DeFi and have this financial freedom. And at some point we came up with this idea to also stake project liquidity and have more impact.
Yeah. I like it. I like what you guys are doing. The cause part is something I'm very passionate about, and kind of working with organizations, charities to do something else, to have some sort of impact outside of, profit, which is obviously important, but it's awesome to see that is something that you guys really care about and are trying to integrate into this platform. Going back to the token though, so we were talking about the tokenomics. How can people get their hands on the Ridotto token?
I may start by the simplest way. During this coming weeks, we are managing to have a set of competition. So each week we'll have dedicated one, and by the end of each week we will give as a reward NFT, special NFT that will give you access to a huge lottery, and we will organize an airdrop of the token itself. So this is the simplest way.
It's 20K RDT token, And actually, it's we're airdropping it for the community to just thank them for their engagement. And we have some cool games coming out in the 3 coming weeks, and this is gonna be huge. Some great NFTs that have some utility on over the web app. We will have the airdrop also. We will have some contests about. I'm going to spoil. No.
You shouldn't.
Some great creative contests and intellectual ones, and some engagement ones.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
I didn't spoil. Fine.
Yeah. You teased the teaser.
Yeah, it's just a teaser.
So
And go ahead, Mohammed.
so this is the lowest effort to have hands over the RDT token. Otherwise, so we have an ongoing private sale, and it's like a traditional private sale. So we need to apply, review the applicants, then identify if we'll participate or not. After the closing of the private sale itself, so we will handle the IDO on Cardstarter. So if you are willing to get a part of the public allocation, you can move through Cardstarter.
Mm-hmm.
And once the IDO is finished, like any traditional blockchain projects, will expose over DEX. So the major one that we are looking to expose our liquidity is Uniswap. So people can get the RDT token through Uniswap after the IDO.
Okay, and then so if Uniswap's the first one, what's the plan to transition to the Cardano blockchain? Since smart contracts are kind of around the corner, what's that transition look like?
So here we need to talk about Cardstarter. Cardstarter isn't just a launchpad; it's more than this. So the fact that we are launching through Cardstarter, we are also working together to propose a bridge to be able to transfer all those tokens that have been emission over the Ethereum blockchain to Cardano 1. And it will be the case also for the Cardstarter ecosystem. Besides to this, we have also some ongoing work with Fayrouz network to be able to expose the token into other blockchain. So here we are talking about Matic and BC.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, and the roadmap. What's the roadmap for the, probably let's focus on this year, and maybe early parts of next year. What are some of the key milestones on that roadmap for you guys?
So I may start by the IDO itself. So just after the IDO, we will expose an incentive program. So this one will include, will reward the early adopter, and it will include some liquidity pool, some single asset pool for staking, and also NFT farming, which means the early adopter will be able to mint some NFT, and those NFT will have special ability over the target platform. So this is the first major milestone that we will expose just after the IDO. By the end of this year, we are willing to propose a lottery and slot machine. So as we propose and as we expose ourselves as build protocol, we won't just propose our own lottery and slot machine to the community, but we will build them for our partner project, so they can expose their own mechanism to their community for a given event or for a long run. So we just did an announcement regarding the first partnership to for whom we will build all this ecosystem.
Mm-hmm. And
which is Donkey Finance. We will expose slots and lottery to their community.
Interesting. I've heard of Donkey Finance.
Great project.
Yeah. Yeah, nice. So that's the roadmap. Exciting milestones in the works. And how about the team? So we've got to know the two co-founders of Ridotto. Who are the? Can you maybe speak just briefly around the rest of the team that are trying to turn this dream into reality?
Yeah. So actually, when we came up with the Ridotto idea, we just wanted to surround ourselves with people that are passionate, highly skilled, very that has the same values as we have. And we may be the only two people that that are coming up in podcasts and YouTube videos, but there are a great team behind us that help us in the everyday journey. And I tell them thank you, by the way, for being here. We have people that help us with marketing. We have people from the casino industry that help us with the product design and developments. We have highly skilled software engineers, blockchain engineers. We have architects also. So all these guys are just working in behind the scenes, and we want to thank them because we all made this Ridotto came true. So yeah.
And also maybe what I can share in addition to that is besides the team itself working on that Cardano ecosystem with several partners, it's really helped us to move further and resolve all the issues that we are facing. So we are not competitor. We are more like compensates each other, which means consume other services and also expand the team rather than just the one that we have, which means work with other projects, share the rexes, and be able to move all that boat together.
Yeah, there seems to be a fairly common theme from the people that I speak to, is this emphasis on kind of just collaborating and working together, which seems to make a lot of sense, especially in the early days, when it's always a kind of helpful when you have people that are trying to lift each other up as opposed to pushing each other down. So that's kind of cool to hear. You're talking earlier about the airdrops and these competitions coming up, and there seems to be a lot of updates in the works and potential news in the works, and also the token as well, all that kind of exciting stuff. How can people, I guess, connect with you guys and make sure that they are up to date with any of the Ridotto news? How can people connect with you and support what you guys are doing?
Yeah, so the community can connect with the Ridotto on our social media. Means Twitter. They can just have exclusive news in Medium, in Telegram, and actually the protocol is, as I said from the beginning, is community driven. Please give us your feedbacks. Come to us, share with us. What do you think? We all build this together. We co-create this project and this product together. So we always love to receive DMs asking us questions. All the team is here to answer questions, to get feedbacks, and just discuss with the community. Mohammed maybe can add another way of interacting with us as developers.
Which is our Discord channel. We are not quite active for the moment, but we will expand over other social media also. So Discord one and Reddit.
And Reddit. Awesome. And obviously those links will be in the description and the description and wherever else I post this. And for the closing question, and I asked this to both of you guys, if you don't mind. The question is, what excites you the most about the future of Cardano? Anyone want to go first?
Mohammed?
Yes, I can go. So what excites me more about Cardano is the fact that we can see real impact over the real world, not only about technology, having that high performance blockchain. It's more than this, which means running your own project into the decentralized ecosystem, ensuring the freedom of several concepts, and also participating in the real world. So this is why Cardano is way different than other blockchain.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Yeah.
Fayrouz?
And for me, actually, we're actually actors of a huge upcoming ecosystem. We're building the first, how do I say, brick? The first
layer.
Yeah, the first layers of a huge building, which is Cardano. So this is thing number one. Thing number two is the technology parts of Cardano. So for us as a gambling protocol, the technology is great. The transaction fees are low. So this suits our project because we're exposing the casino part to everybody. So we need some quick transactions, low fees, etc. And there's the other parts of Cardano, which is fascinating. It's a way of thinking. It's not only a great technology, as I said, but it's also expanding to charity, human values that we love. And there's the fourth thing is that Cardano is a very virtuous ecosystem. Everyone is like cheering up. All the projects are yeah. We help each other. We like to build this ecosystem together, and this is very valuable for us.